Everybody is so excited for Breath of the Wild 2, and whatever other surprises Nintendo has planned for the Legend of Zelda's 35th anniversary celebration. But did you know that one of the coolest Zelda games to hit Nintendo Switch in years is coming out this week? And it doesn't even have Link, but it's so addictive. Good evening, Bowser, and good evening, Switch fans. We've spent a lot of time lately talking about hypotheticals, about rumors, about leaks, about games far away, about games that might come and games that may not. So today we're talking all about games that are here. This is the biggest week of the year yet for Nintendo Switch, loaded with so many titles, both retail and download only. One of them probably has your attention. One of them might have your attention, and one of them doesn't have your attention, but it absolutely needs to. This is my new addiction. It's so good, and it's basically Legend of Zelda, so we gotta talk all about it. What's going on, everybody? It's Zach from SwitchForce. Hope you're having a fantastic start to your week. It's Monday, which means optimism, positivity. See the goals you got, and look forward to that weekend. It may be 5 days away, but trust me, time moves very fast, and you want to cherish these moments. And I'm cherishing what we got this week. There are so many games, from Persona 5 Strikers to Bravely Default 2 to Rogue Heroes, Ruins of Tassos. They really needed to make a better name. Like, don't even cut that. That's the last time I'm saying the subtitle. It's just Rogue Heroes! Hit that like button if you're excited for the big week that Nintendo Switch has ahead, and let me know in the comments down below which of these games you are most excited for. Which one are you looking at to buy this week? But before we dive headfirst into this awesome lineup, two quick news notes. One, it's Pokemon Day week. Saturday, the 27th, is Pokemon Day. It's also when Post Malone gets immortalized as a trainer with face tattoos. That's a first. Looking forward to that concert, and there should be some sort of Pokemon presentation. Now, it probably will be Thursday or Friday, so we still have a little bit time to wait, but that's where we all expect them to announce their plans for what other Pokemon games they've got going on in 2021 besides new Pokemon Snap, and hopefully give some more details on that as well. So fingers crossed, stay tuned. It should be a big week for the Pocket Monsters. And to start the week off, we're introducing a new segment, the Community Poll. I'm super excited about this. Every day, we're gonna be asking an important Nintendo question and getting your take. And then towards the end of the episode, we'll feature it, see what won, and talk all about it. All right, let's talk some Switch games. It feels so good to have so much to tell you about, including my new obsession. This is a gem, and it feels, looks, plays Zelda. Like, it really is the coolest thing Zelda has done in years, and it doesn't even really involve Zelda. But first, you got two big retail titles this week, Bravely Default 2, which we'll be covering as we approach Friday, Persona 5 Strikers, which I have played. I got the full game. Now, there's also Wrath, Aeon of Ruin. You got Taxi Chaos, you got Curse of the Dead Gods. It's just a massive week with really quality Switch games. But let's touch on Persona a bit. This is a Musou set in the Persona 5 world, and I frankly enjoyed the first few hours. I think the game really does depend on how much you like Persona. Like, you don't absolutely have to have played Persona 5, but if we're gonna look at like Hyrule Warriors versus P5 Strikers, it really to me comes down to how much you like each franchise. Which one do you like more? Now, if we want to get a little more nuanced than that, Persona 5 Strikers is much heavier on the exploration and the story, because they still want it to feel like a Persona game. And I was surprised how many elements of Persona 5 it does retain here in the Strikers variant. So you are walking around the city, you are talking to the characters that you talk to, you are saving your game and going to bed, and you're doing everything that you did in Persona 5, except the main gameplay conceit has been replaced from turn-based battles with now Musou-style action battles. And that part does feel a lot like Hyrule Warriors. So if the story doesn't matter too much to you, and if you don't really care about the explorative elements or diving deeper into the Persona lore, then it really just becomes, do you like Link or do you like Joker better? Because frankly, they feel very similar. And I don't see myself spending the 40 hours it supposedly takes to get through this entire adventure, just because we've played a lot of Musou-type games recently, in terms of Age of Calamity hitting last November. So I don't feel like this is a must-buy as much as maybe some people said it was, but if you are a fan of Persona, if you skipped out on Hyrule Warriors, or if you just freaking love Musous, it feels quality. The graphics aren't as sharp as they were on the PlayStation in terms of the OG Persona 5, but they look nice, and all the stylistic elements are there. Like, this game shines in terms of having the best, coolest UI, and making those scenes, those characters, those elements, those fights, those special attacks just sing. They fly off the screen with so much fanfare. It's kind of a joy to behold. What isn't so joyful are the insane load times. I mean, they're not insane, I guess, but it's insane to me how many there are after playing something like Bowser's Fury, where you're just in the world and you get to go from shine to shine to shine to shine and don't have to really worry about it. Here, you're gonna be loading between every area, between every day, between every battle, and it can get a bit tedious. The game as a whole is just a slower paced affair, and some people will love that because you do get to dive deep into this world, but some people will find it boring. So I like Persona 5 Strikers, but I don't love it. And I'm honestly hoping that Bravely Default 2 captures my attention and my heart a little bit more. I just don't have the time or space in my life right now for 2 games of this length, and I feel like I will lean towards Bravely Default 2, but we'll have to come back towards Friday to figure that out for sure. All right, now we can talk Rogue Heroes, and I'm not even gonna attempt the subtitle. That went really poorly before, but this game is everything good. It's one of those Switch games where you open it up, you're expecting something kind of fun, and you're like, this might be the next big eShop game. The quick elevator pitch, it's Link to the Past with procedurally generated dungeons, the best elements of roguelites without any of the bad stuff, and it has 4-player local and online co-op. This game is incredible. It is so good, and for me, it blindsided me. Came out of nowhere with a name like Rogue Heroes. You're like, okay, dime a dozen, we've played this before. No, not at this level, not at this caliber. You dive in, you're searching for a dungeon, they're randomly generated the rooms, and they're tough. Not Dark Souls tough, but like, you gotta be on your best behavior tough, and you gotta put your skills to the test. You're gonna be acquiring items along the way that will crack when you die. And this is where the really good side of the roguelike comes in. You're collecting gems as you progress through these dungeons, and you can use those gems to build out your town. So you can add a blacksmith, and you can add a place where you heal up, a Pokemon center, but for people, for old-time warriors, an old-time warrior center, a Link center, a Tingle center. I don't know, you build your health, and there's all these skill trees, and there's all these things that you can spend your gems on, like getting better items and upgrading your character, and even unlocking shortcuts within the dungeons so you can progress further where the rewards and the loot are greater. It never succumbs, though, to feeling like your runs were worthless. It never succumbs to feeling like you're being held back. You can go really far. Like, right off the bat, I was grabbing them gems, and I was expanding my village in a pretty big way. Now, I have only played solo, and let me tell you, as an individual affair, this is good. This is top-down Zelda with a lot of care and so much precision. Games of this sort, they can screw it up in a heartbeat. All they have to do is have bad-feeling combat or sluggish-feeling movement. They do this nice thing where you start off with a sword-wielding class, because there are multiple classes in the game that you can unlock and buy with gems. You start off with the sword, and your range is quite far. Like, it's probably bigger than Link's range. I'm not trying to, rain on his parade. It was his birthday this past weekend, and I love the guy. But the range, it feels really good. You're keeping enemies out in front of you, and I think it allows you to be a little bit more aggressive. And you have this stamina meter that doesn't interfere, but it keeps you honest. I just love the way that they've crafted the loop of fighting, retreating, dodging, navigating. There's traps all over the dungeons, there's secrets to unlock, there's chests to buy, there's NPCs to find. Again, the best meta elements of roguelites, and the best, coolest parts that they dip into the runs without feeling redundant, without bogging you down, and without feeling like you just wasted your time, because they allow you to retain your currency. Every gem you collect from killing enemies, opening treasure chests, and diving deeper into the dungeon, you get to keep and spend, so there's huge reward. I see this game having an interesting curve, where I think it's going to be the most exciting at the start, where you're unlocking the buildings, unlocking the classes, opening up all these new avenues for you to be awesome. And then I think it'll be more rewarding as time progresses, once you start to unlock the shortcuts deeper in the dungeon, once you reach the bosses, and if you have friends or siblings, co-op. I think this game would be a jam in co-op, and I cannot wait to dive in a bit deeper and try that out with my brothers. It just seems perfect for it. 4 little Links running around. They're not named Link, but they look like him, and they're running around trying to dive deeper into this dungeon. You know, it gives you a little more chance to up the speed. Because I will say, if I had one complaint about this game, when you start as an individual, a solo player, you have to be cautious. There are some rooms, some obstacles, and some enemy layouts that really, you gotta just kind of like, back, you know, like the stab and retreat. You know, it's like walk forward, hi, how you doing? Moonwalk back. And you do that over and over again to ensure your safety, because enemies can start chunking a big chunk of your health away once you get down to the second and third floor of these dungeons. Now there's multiple dungeons, there's a huge overworld, there's a cute little story, but the focus here is on supremely executed gameplay. It's so satisfying to unravel the floor plan, encounter new enemies, do your best to one-up every trap you come across, all while feeling confident. You don't have to worry about losing it all. There's no push your luck and return to base. You get to take it all with you. Well, not everything. You will lose the breakable items, and in that way it kind of feels like Link Between Worlds, where you're getting items you probably shouldn't have access to so you can complete the challenges, but then they take them from you when you die. I love that aspect, and I love that even when you perish, you bring the loot with you. You're going on a spending spree back in town and unlocking the game in whichever way feels right for you as a player. This game would be so much worse off if they stole your earnings upon death. If you had to decide, do I dive deeper or do I go back home? No, the focus here is on the gameplay and on the fun, while still maintaining challenge. Challenge should not be in artificially ruining your day. Challenge should just be in creative rooms, cool boss encounters, and awesome enemies. Rogue Heroes has all of that and then some. You have to circle this one on the eShop now as something you probably need to play, especially if you're a Zelda fan. Like, we aren't getting a new Legend of Zelda game or even a re-release for a while. Skyward Sword is in July. No idea if when they drop the other titles, but if you want something that captures the spirit of The Legend of Zelda, that feels perfect for its birthday, this is the game. And in the same way that Nintendo worked with Crypt of the Necrodancer to bring Cadence of Hyrule, oh my gosh. Call Team 17 up right now, call Heliocentric Studios up right now and say, we need to get some Legend of Zelda skins and items in this game. It would be a masterpiece. So it's more Four Swords Adventures than it is anything else, but it does it so well, and there's nothing quite like that on the Switch. I find this game to be a revelation. I'm addicted to it. It has such a nice loop, and it never steals your time, and for that, I have to say thanks. Plus, there's a demo, so if you need to try it out before you buy, go for it. And it's a Switch console exclusive. It's on Steam and Switch. I love games like that. You know, when our platform is the most powerful, it feels good, because the other guys, they get so much stuff. So when we get a game that's like, whoa, I know people are gonna be talking about this, I like that. So I still need to try Taxi Chaos. I'm looking real forward to Bravely Default 2. Rogue Heroes is absolutely worth the full $20 price. And Persona 5 Strikers is a good game, but I think there are a few caveats in order to go out and get it immediately. But it's still a fantastic week for Switch. There's so much to play. And the Pokemon stuff is exciting. So this is gonna be a wonderful week for the show, and I'm so glad to have you guys a part of it. But we cannot get out of here before addressing the new segment, the Daily Poll. So I asked you guys and girls if you thought there would be a Pokemon Direct this week, and 71% of you said, yeah, you're on Team Hype Train. And 29% said, hoo hoo hoo, slow down Epona, hold your horses. I gotta see it to believe it. That's a pretty good spread. I'm impressed that 70+% of you have confidence in this week, but I don't fault the other 29%. Nintendo, like, they always do things their own way, and it would be kind of weird, but not totally out of the realm of possibility that they just say, hey, Pokemon Day, goodbye, Pokemon Day, but I really think we're gonna get a presentation, so I'm with you, majority. I think we're gonna make it happen, and make sure to check my community tab every day for a new poll. We're gonna be featuring the results in every Good Morning Mario towards the end of the show, and I think it's a fun way just to bring you guys and girls aboard a little bit more, involve the community, and really get a read on some of these big Nintendo things that are happening, and maybe a quirky, funny, weird poll or two, so keep your eyes peeled for those. For now though, that'll do it for today's episode. Make sure to check out Rogue Heroes. The game is glorious, and I'm gonna go play it right now. Make sure to stay safe, stay healthy, stay smart out there. I love you guys so much. I appreciate your support. Hit that like button if you had fun with me today. Let me know in the comments down below if you're gonna pick up any games this week and which one it's gonna be. Until that time, everybody, I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks again. SwitchForce out.